So this is the deep squat. The deep squat overall is going to be rated a 2 for the final score. And what we'll do is we're going to look at the first squat here without the heels up on the platform. And as we can see here, we have the dowel slants down. And then as we move to the side view, we will see that the upper torso is not parallel with the tibia. We have a huge forward lean. So as it goes down, we have a huge forward lean here. The dowel is well in front of the toes. So then what we'll do is we're going to move on to putting the heels up onto the box, which is what creates the final score of being a 2. We have the heels on the board here. We have the dowel that stays behind the toes. And then we have the heels aligned over the feet. And the upper torso is pretty much parallel. So here's the squat forward, and we can tell we've angled out a lot better here at the top, and we just overall look better. We're not forward leaning anymore. And now we're going to move on to the inline lunge. So here for the inline lunge, we have 3 contact points. We have up here at this hand, and at the buttocks. And as we go down, our final score is a 3. We can do a 3 on left and the right. And so looking here, we have the dowel has contact the whole time, does not move. It remains vertical. So the dowel didn't move at all. We remain vertical. Can back up a little bit. There's no torso movement or minimal torso movement. And the dowel and feet remain in the sagittal plane, which we'll see in the front in just a moment. And then the knee touches behind the heel of the front foot. So as we continue here, same thing. We have the dowel is parallel. We are still in the sagittal plane. Now we're looking at the left foot. We have the same thing, sagittal plane, pole is parallel. No movement at the trunk, and the heel and the foot are touching. So in looking here, we're looking at the active straight leg raise. And the right is going to be at a 2, and the left is going to be at a 3, composing a final score of 2. We have a marker that's between the ASIS and the tibial tuberosity. It's right in the middle there. And so as we raise up the leg, we see as well the left leg is neutral with the toes and the foot pointing upward. And then as the dowel goes down from the malleolus to the marker, we are slightly behind the marker, making the right leg a 2. But the non-moving limb remains in the neutral position. So we're coming over to the left leg. The left leg is a 3. As we can tell, the foot is past the marker here, or the malleolus, sorry. Malleolus is past the marker. The vertical line of the malleolus resides between mid-thigh and ASIS, and the non-moving limb remains in neutral. Here we're looking at the rotary stability. The overall score becomes a 2. The left and the right side are both 2s. Attempting to do the unilateral, and the position doesn't actually even make it. I fall out of place. So we go right into the opposite knee and opposite hand touching. As we can tell here, the hand needs to be touching the side of the board. We come out, we're parallel here, we're still over the top of the board, touching there, and back out. One more time through. And we can see here, directly over the board, and back out. And then here, doing the left arm, same thing, coming directly over the board, hand remains touching the board, leg remains touching the board on the opposite side, and back out. This is the frontal view, touching here, and coming back out, still remaining parallel over the board. And then now we're going into the posterior rocking clearing test. Hands remain flat on the ground here. Butt is touching the hip or touching the feet, and there was no pain present at all. This is the hurdle step. The band was put at 16.5 based off of where the tibial tuberosity is. The feet are touching the back of the board. As we can tell here, the final score ends up being a 2 because the right leg or the left leg comes out. Oops. Comes here and comes here. It does not directly come over the top. With that, so the left side, the alignment is lost between the hips, the knee, and the ankle. And then as we continue over the top, we can see from a side view that the trunk moved very, very minimally, and the dowel remains parallel. Now when looking at the right side, we have the same thing. Torso remains upright, very minimal movement. Dowel remains parallel here. And we're coming up and over, remaining parallel over the band and over the floor, causing that to be a 3. Here we're looking at trunk stability push-up test. For women, we start at the chin and come out to about shoulder width apart. What we're looking for here is elbows go up on your toes, so elbows up on our toes. And as we push up, that everything in the body remains moving at the same time. So this is a 3, and we can see it better from a side view. Stays rigid, and everything moves together. The shoulders don't go up first and let the butt drop or the mid-back drop. And due to thumbs being at chin height, that became a 3. The press-up clearing test, there was no pain that was present at all. Now when looking here, we're looking at the length of the hand, which comes out to be 7.5. So as we go over with our right hand, we can see that this becomes a 3 because we're at about 6 or about 4. Which means that we're within a hand length between, showing it again. Now here comes the left side, and the left side actually shows to be a 2 It is within a fist and a half. So here's that 7.5 again. Oops. 7.5, and we're a little bit more than that. So that becomes a 2, which our total overall score becomes a 2. Looking at the impingement clearing test, going up, there was no pain at all associated with the movement. And that's it. So with all of the final scores totaled up, that brings a total of 16.